Qatar is a tiny country. Its entire land area is smaller than many American states. Yet this small Gulf monarchy has assembled something extraordinary. An air force built around three of the world's most capable modern fighter aircraft: the American F-15QA, the French Rafale, and the European Eurofighter Typhoon. But why would a country this small need so many different fighters? And more importantly, how much did Qatar actually spend to build this force? Because this isn't just a story about fighter jets. It's a story about money, technology, diplomacy, and survival. To understand Qatar's military buildup, first look at its geography. Qatar is a small peninsula, extending into the Persian Gulf. Its neighbors include Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates. Across the Gulf lies Iran, and surrounding this tiny state are some of the world's most strategically important energy routes. Qatar also possesses something enormously valuable: natural gas. The country became one of the world's most important liquefied natural gas exporters. That wealth gave Doha the ability to spend heavily on defense. But money alone doesn't explain the transformation. Because Qatar wasn't simply buying aircraft, it was building an entire air power ecosystem. Before the transformation, Qatar's fighter fleet was much smaller. The Qatar Emiri Air Force operated French Mirage 2000-5 fighters. These were capable aircraft, but the strategic environment around Qatar was changing. Saudi Arabia was investing heavily in its military. The United Arab Emirates was building one of the most sophisticated air forces in the Middle East. Iran remained a major regional military power, and Qatar's own geopolitical importance was increasing. Then came a remarkable decision. Instead of choosing one fighter, Qatar chose three. First came France. Qatar originally ordered 24 Dassault Rafales. Then Doha exercised an option for another 12. That brought the total to 36 Rafales. The Rafale gave Qatar something its Mirage fleet could not provide at the same level: a modern multi-role fighter capable of air-to-air combat, precision strike, reconnaissance, and long-range operations. But the Rafale wasn't going to be Qatar's only modern fighter. Because while France was selling Doha aircraft, Washington was offering something different. In 2017, Qatar signed an agreement with Boeing for 36 advanced F-15 aircraft. The resulting F-15QA was an advanced version of the F-15 family, and this wasn't simply an old fighter with new paint. The aircraft incorporated modern avionics, weapons, sensors, and electronic systems. The United States Air Force described the F-15QA as the most advanced version of the F-15 Eagle at the time. And Qatar wasn't just buying the aircraft, it needed somewhere to operate them. That meant infrastructure, training, maintenance, simulators, supply facilities, and personnel. In 2020, the United States awarded a $524 million construction contract for the F-15QA bed down at Al Udeid Air Base. The project included roughly 35 buildings supporting training, simulators, maintenance, supply, and administration for the new fighter force. And this reveals something important. Buying a fighter jet is only the beginning. A modern fighter isn't like buying a sports car. You can't simply park it in a hangar and expect it to remain combat ready. You need technicians, weapons, spare engines, software, simulators, runways, fuel, maintenance equipment, and trained pilots. That's why the true cost of an air force can be dramatically higher than the sticker price of its aircraft. And Qatar was about to demonstrate this on an even larger scale. Because Doha still wasn't finished, Qatar signed another major deal, this time with the United Kingdom. The purchase? Eurofighter Typhoons. But the package was much bigger than aircraft. The British government valued the overall Typhoon deal at around £6 billion. It included weapons, training, support, and cooperation between the two air forces. And Qatar wasn't simply going to receive the aircraft and figure everything out later. The Royal Air Force and Qatar established a joint Typhoon squadron. Qatari pilots and engineers trained alongside British personnel. And this wasn't just ceremonial cooperation. Qatar's pilots flew real training missions. Its technicians learned maintenance, and both countries practiced operating together. The RAF describes the relationship as one of the most integrated defense partnerships between the two countries. But Qatar went even further. It created a joint Hawk training squadron to prepare pilots for high-speed jet operations. In other words, Qatar wasn't simply buying aircraft, it was buying experience. So why buy 3 different fighter families? Because each brings different strengths. The F-15QA provides enormous payload capacity, range, and advanced strike capability. The Rafale provides a highly versatile, multi-role platform with deep French combat aircraft heritage. And the Eurofighter Typhoon brings exceptional air-to-air performance and European technology. Qatar essentially created a diversified fighter fleet. But diversification comes with a price. Different training pipelines, different maintenance systems, different spare parts, different weapons integration, different logistics, different technical expertise. For a small air force, that's a massive challenge. By buying major weapon systems from several Western powers, Qatar deepened its defense relationships with the United States, France, and Britain. And those relationships aren't purely commercial. They create training partnerships, interoperability, political connections, and strategic relationships that extend far beyond the aircraft themselves. This is where Qatar's Air Force becomes more than a collection of fighter jets. It becomes a foreign policy instrument. Then there's Al Udeid Air Base. One of the most important American military facilities in the Middle East is located in Qatar. The U.S. military has maintained a major presence there for years, and that creates another layer of strategic value. Qatar's Air Force doesn't exist in isolation. It operates within a broader security environment involving American, British, French, and regional forces. That means exercises, refueling, training, intelligence, and interoperability can become just as important as the aircraft themselves. And this is the real lesson of Qatar's transformation. Modern air power isn't about owning the best fighter. It's about building the system around it. Qatar's fighter fleet tells a fascinating story about modern defense economics. The aircrafts themselves represent only part of the investment. The country also needed infrastructure, weapons, training, maintenance, support, and personnel. The British Typhoon package alone was valued at around £6 billion. The United States separately awarded a $524 million construction contract for the F-15QA infrastructure, and that's before considering the wider costs of sustaining a modern combat aircraft fleet. This is why military analysts don't simply ask, how much does the fighter cost? They ask, how much does it cost to operate the capability? Qatar is a fascinating example of what wealth can do when combined with strategic uncertainty. A country with a small population and limited territory has assembled a sophisticated combat aircraft fleet. But the real achievement isn't the number of fighters, it's the network behind them. So, how did Qatar build a billion-dollar air force? It didn't happen with one purchase. It happened through a strategy. Buy the aircraft, build the infrastructure, train the pilots, partner with powerful allies, and create an air force capable of operating with some of the world's most advanced militaries. For a country this small, Qatar has built an air force that is anything but small. Because in the modern Middle East, military power isn't always measured by the size of your country. Sometimes it's measured by what you can afford to put in the sky.